All right, hello and welcome again to our tag management tips series. We've been going through our overall tag management journey, and we are now on stage 3 of that process, which is defining our tag policy. So we talked about in step 1, going through and defining the goals, so what it is exactly that we're wanting to accomplish. Step 2 of auditing our website, really understanding what tags are on the site, how are they behaving from a performance standpoint as well as from a data collection standpoint, where they are on the website, and exactly how they're loading. If they're loading from the page through a tag management system. Now it's all about, now that we have that information, it's all about defining what should and should not be happening on the website. So at the end of this stage, when we get through with our tag policy, we should have full documentation that lays out all of the different tags that are on the website. And then as we go through this process, we're going to be identifying, yes, this one's good, no, yes, yes, and can have a really good understanding of this is what should be happening, this is what shouldn't be happening, and this is what's required to be happening. So we take our tag audit, we simplify it down into a general inventory. So just a list of all of the different tags that are going to be sitting on your website. From there, we need to first identify just high level what should be here, what's allowed. This is the easiest thing to knock off. We can start identifying different tags and different platforms as old, no longer in use, ready to be removed. We can just rip them out, get rid of them. A pro tip when going through this piece of the process, focus on the tags that you can control. So those that are loading either directly from your page source or the code of the page, or directly through your tag management system. So things that, again, you've probably implemented or your team has definitely implemented and can be easily identified and pulled out. Now, I want to just give a quick overview of why that may not be the case for some tags, why some tags you might not have control over, even though they are on your website. So for those, we call those tags that are piggybacking, and it's a very special and important call out, and something that you're really going to look for as you're going through auditing and defining the policy on your website. So what will happen sometimes is you might have a particular tag that is configured and implemented on your site. That's the only one that you have visibility into, and in many cases that might be the only tag that you're even aware is there. But what happens when this tag gets executed is it will turn around and send that data off and load in other platforms, or those tags that are piggybacking, or in some people you might hear referred to as daisy chaining on the website. So these are being loaded in by other tags that you do have on there, but when we're filling out our inventory, and in that audit process, it's key to, that's why we highlight how tags are loading. So identify the ones in this sort of scenario that are loading directly from the site and loading directly from the tag management system. Start identifying those that should be removed, and then you'll be left with a list of those that are allowed on the website, at least allowed on that first level of the website. Once we have that list of allowed tags, we're going to want to start really identifying what's optimal. I mean, we want to optimize our entire tag management ecosystem. So we're going to need to start looking at things like performance. So are some tags performing really poorly on the site? And starting to think about, is the user experience or potential latency or slowing down of the website worth it for the value that we're getting on the business side? Or is it something that for the same goal and same reason we're using that platform, we want to be using something else? We're also going to want to start looking at what are the different platforms and tags that are being used and what teams are responsible for those. Can we combine some of these efforts? Is it possible to have marketing and the media team be working within the same analytics platform, for example, with just permissions there, which is going to reduce the weight of our web pages? We're also going to want to be looking at instances like this with our tag piggybacking. If there are certain tags that are really poor offenders, again, looking at what is the cost from a performance standpoint as well as from a potentially a data sharing standpoint, and should those be removed. So at the end of this process, we're going to have that full list of the tags that are allowed on the website, and then we're also going to want to identify what are the really key ones. What are the things that are required? What do we, in order for our business to run and for us to get reports and optimize and really be the best that we can be, what has to be there? So we identify our list of tags that are allowed. We notate the ones that are required as well as allowed. We need to define how each tag should be loading. So is it something that has to be loaded from the page source? Is it something that should be loaded from our tag management system? How are things allowed to be, and how should things be loaded on the website? And then we also want to define some general standards around latency, number of requests, if piggybacking is going on, where do data sharing agreements and privacy policy, what is allowed in that general sense of the word, so we can use these standards as new technologies are introduced and we go through that vetting process. We want this policy that we're defining initially based upon what's there now and the learnings we're taking from the audit, but we want this to be able to be carried forward and applied to any new tag or any new technology that we're potentially going to be putting on the website. Finally, when it comes to standards, again, with your tag management system, what should be loaded through that tag management system so you can really leverage all of those benefits. Take that audit, simplify it down into that inventory, go through this entire process. You'll be well on your way to creating a very solid and sustainable tag policy.